Hey guys, welcome to my review for Attack on Titan Chapter 86. Now I'm sorry this was late, I'm also sorry it's been another week without videos. I'm gonna have a vlog coming out in a couple days after I get everything else out, explaining everything. But anyway, so this chapter happened. Quite the bombshell of information. I was not expecting a chapter like this at all. I really thought Isayama would be teasing us some more. Like, we got some huge information at the end of the last chapter, and I figured, I'm like, it's probably going to be like another 5 chapters. They're going to go head back, assess everything. But no, instead, we just get the entire backstory of friggin' everything. Like, this was a very dialogue-heavy chapter, but it was all just insane revelations. It was amazing. And from the way this chapter starts, I'm pretty sure, like, this is what Grisha has put down in the books that the Survey Corps found in the basement. So basically, a long time ago, you have Ymir Fritz, and she was the queen of the Elodian people. Now, she makes some sort of deal with the devil and gains the Titan powers. Like, that's where the Titan powers come from. They come from the devil. I was honestly pretty surprised by this. I thought the Titans would end up being like a disease or a weapon or just like something that was created by science. I really wasn't expecting it to be explained by, being like supernatural, powers from the devil. But yeah, it's as simple as that. That's where the Titans come from. So after Elodia got a hold of these Titan powers, they basically just friggin' oppressed everyone. And for hundreds and hundreds of years, they pretty much ruled the entire continent of wherever they are. That's right, it was confirmed that Attack on Titan does not take place on Earth. Now, the small pieces of the map they saw, they may, like, match up with somewhere on Earth, but as far as we know, this world is completely fictional. But anyway, then you have the mayor, which I guess is another group of people who eventually rebelled against Elodia. They took control of 7 out of the 9 Titans, so I guess the different types of Titan powers that Elodia had, and they basically just shreked them. So they had this big, huge, long Titan war, and eventually Elodia lost, and the royal family packed up all their things and pieced out to Parody Island. Now this happened 80 years ago, and Parody Island is, of course, now we know, where Attack on Titan takes place. Also, this happened 80 years ago, so it's safe to assume, they went over there, everyone's memories got erased, some generations changed, and it's probably safe to assume that everyone who originally went over there is dead. And now you're just left with everyone else that we've known in the series having no clue what the history of the world is. Just because, the royal family never friggin' told everyone, and, a while ago they sort of overthrew them. The situation on the mainland, though, kind of sucks, because now Elodia is being oppressed by the mayor, and the problem with that is that the Elodians that exist now, like, literally had nothing to do with anything before. Yet they're being oppressed by the mayor. They're basically all living in ghettos. They had to wear armbands to show that they're Elodian, very reminiscent of, what happened in, Europe in the 1930s when the Nazis started to oppress the Jewish people. There were a lot of parallels with real-life events, which I thought was really nice. I just think it added a lot more impact to all of this. Anyway, so one of the Elodians is, of course, Grisha Jaeger. And one day he decides to go outside of the ghetto without permission with his little sister Faye so they can, like, watch the blimps or whatever. They get caught though, and Faye gets killed by the guards. I mean, they lie about it and whatever, but that's pretty much what happens. And this is when Grisha's parents sit him down, tell him about the history of the world. That's when we find out. Then it cuts ahead to much later when he's like 18, and he comes across a resistance group who actually tells him the true fate of his sister, and he decides he wants to fight with these guys. And their plan is basically to restore Elodia to its former glory. They have a spy in the government who is providing them with resources, as well as the truth about Ymir, and she actually brought riches to the mayor, and everything was peaceful, but then the mayor decided to attack them. So this motivates the crap out of them. They're like, oh hell no, oh you guys are going down. Then they meet someone from the royal family. Her name is Dana Fritz. Now apparently there was a small portion of the royal family who didn't piss off to Parody Island, and they are waiting for the day that Elodia would return to its former glory. Her and Grisha, have some sexy time, and they make a baby, who is Zeke. Yes, it is revealed that Zeke is Grisha's son and Aaron's half-brother. Now this is huge. This is crazy, because most people were thinking, oh, he's like Aaron's grandfather, he's Aaron's uncle. And I guess it was just because, where Zeke has all that hair, it was kind of hard to tell just how old he was. But yeah, he's actually Grisha's son. which was pretty crazy. Their plan is to basically invade the walls, steal the Titan power, and then essentially just wreck the mayor. The thing is though, the king inside the walls has actually been threatening the mayor, and anticipating attack, they decided to start enlisting children into their army so they can train them to fight back against the king on Parody Island. Now, the Resistance sees this as an opportunity to enlist Zeke, who is only a small child, into their army, because then they'll basically have a connection and a way in. And the reason they need to do this is because technology is advancing really fast, and if they wait much longer, then they will have developed something that will combat the Titans. This is actually why I thought one of the theories was wrong, which is the, World War II Nazi theory, sorry Eric. And the reason I didn't think this was plausible was because, well, in World War II they had friggin' nukes. Shit hits the fan though, because after being trained by these guys, Zeke rats out his dad and the entire Resistance. And the chapter ends with them all getting sent to heaven. And it's of course revealed that being sent to heaven means being turned into a Titan, a mindless Titan, and sent to Parody Island. An interesting connection that I drew, I'm not sure if anyone else picked up on this, but Paradis is actually French for heaven, so I thought that was a cool little connection. So yeah, oh that chapter, oh my god. Like, we still don't know everything, but this changes everything. It changes everything. This whole chapter was insane. It didn't even feel like Attack on Titan. I couldn't even believe I was reading the same series. Like 2 chapters ago, no one saw this coming. This is insane. And it just explains so much. It explains why there's all these mindless Titans everywhere. And it of course indirectly explains why everything has been happening. Like, the mayors were building an army to invade the walls and gain back the Titan power, like what the Resistance was planning on doing, although it was for a different cause. So I'm assuming that at the very beginning of the series, when Bertolt and Reiner break down the wall, that was the beginning of the invasion. Because these guys are so young, I guess they started training at a very young age. They became Titan shifters, and then they were sent as the first ones to try and invade the walls. It would also make sense why Zeke is their leader, because he is much older than them, and he's been training for much longer. Oh my god. This is insane. I can't even believe this is real, to be honest. It's just the fact that all of this, everything makes, just so many things make sense now. From the very beginning of the series. Like, Isayama had all of this planned, and it took 86 months for us to get here. But now we finally know the truth. The question is now, though, what's next? What is next now that our characters know all of this? And honestly, I really don't have much of a clue. It's just gonna take so much to process. Like, I feel like the theories that we usually get, all the crazy fanbase, I think it's gonna be a bit slower this month, just because there's so much information that everyone needs to process. Like, people went crazy with theories last month. Probably the craziest theories ever. But yeah, so this chapter kind of blew me away. It was fantastic. This series is insane. Like, this series has become so much better for me over the time, and I'm just so impressed with it. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen next. It's also going to come out on like the same day as the election, so it'll be a good distraction from that mess. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.